President Donald Trump has selected Lee Zeldin, a former congressman and senator from New York, as the administrator of the EPA. On February 4th, Zeldin announced the 5 pillars of his Powering the Great American Comeback initiative, and I thought I'd offer some thoughts on how these pillars relate to the air modeling world. Today we'll be talking about the 4th of those 5 pillars. So if you've seen any of my first 3 posts on these pillars, you know what comes next, the disclaimer. I want you to keep in mind here that this is not a political post. I'm merely offering some thoughts on what's going on right now in our field. Whether we like the new EPA leadership really doesn't matter. Over the course of my career, there have been some leaders in EPA who I've thought have been spot on and some others that I've very much disagreed with. Part of being in this profession is understanding that the priorities of people leading the government, well, they change sometimes, and it is incumbent on us to be able to deal with both sides. Okay, so pillar number 4, make the United States the artificial intelligence capital of the world. The rise of AI, cloud computing, and digital services is causing the data center market to grow very rapidly. More data has been created in the last 3 years than the rest of history combined. And in the US, the demand for data centers is expected to grow about 10% every year through 2030. When most people think of big air polluters, they think of more traditional smokestack industry. But to keep their servers cool, individual data centers can require some pretty significant amounts of power, sometimes north of 100 megawatts. When you start thinking about the clusters of data centers in key areas, the cumulative power demands can be pretty staggering. Data center construction is essentially a modern-day gold rush, with people trying to get data centers permitted and built in strategic locations before their competition does the same. The hottest spot for data centers in the world right now is in Northern Virginia, where power needs from data centers alone are more than 2,500 megawatts, what all of Los Angeles uses on a summer day. So with these power needs, there is a growing trend for data centers to build their own on-site power plants. So we could be looking at an entirely new wave of power plants here in the US. Since we know data centers are clustered geographically, we could also be looking at some modeling challenges with cumulative impacts in areas that traditionally haven't had that as an issue before. The Houston Ship Channel? Sure, we've known for a long time there's a lot of industry there and a lot of cumulative modeling impacts. But Northern Virginia, not so much. So I think this is an up-and-coming area for modeling, and it'll be interesting to watch it unfold in the coming years.